Welcome back to Two Who's Review. I'm Alex,
I'm Fitz.
I'm Sam.
and today we're checking out Black Orchid, a Fifth Doctor story. I think by a country mile the shortest Fifth Doctor
Yeah.
story.
Speaking of shortest,
Mhm.
what's the shortest episode of this you guys have ever done? Because I think we're about to beat that record.
We very well might. We very
Um,
well might.
yeah, we've done some. How long was Time in the Rani? I know that one wasn't very long.
I mean, if you're asking me to go back through all of our archives to find shortest episode, that's going to take some time.
Well, I guess it also kind of makes sense because we did the Sontaran experiment, which is also 2 parts long, and that wasn't a very long podcast either.
That's true. I forgot about that one.
I've got a feeling there's another Fifth Doctor story that's also only 2 episodes. I want to say it's The Awakening. So if that's the case, we may have to withhold our judgments as to how short this story is.
I have a question in regards to this episode.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
Besides the fact that the character of the Doctor is here, in what respect can this be considered an episode of Doctor Who?
Very
you
little.
see, it's in 1925, and there's timey-wimey stuff, and there's a clone look-alike person
Is
from an
there
alien
even
planet.
though? Really?
Not really.
Like, is that really like I'm watching this and the whole time I'm like,
why?
Nothing would be different if Miss Marple was here instead, or Poirot,
Yeah.
or
Actually,
Jonathan Creek, or Bergerac.
No, you're right. You're totally right.
Like nothing about So we're gonna watch Unicorn and the Wasp next week, and that's like a murder mystery fused with Doctor Who weirdness, like decently well. This is a murder mystery that Doctor Who happens to be present for.
Well,
but more than that, it's just a bad murder mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, one of the things that I thought about it was, one, it's weirdly one of the most pedestrian Doctor Who stories I think we've covered, because there's nothing really related to sci-fi about it apart from a little bit of time travel. There's a lot of elements.
He uses his magic box to prove his innocence. If this wasn't a sci-fi, that wouldn't have happened.
Well,
and that's
I guess
literally the extent of it.
Yeah, but even like there are other elements of it that feel almost like a Hammer horror movie.
Yeah,
and Doctor Who has done stories like that. If you look at stuff like The Brain of Morbius, or what's the fucking episode with the vampires from the classic series, not the reboot, but there's an episode with vampires. Right. The point is, it's been done before. Good lord, it's been done better than it is here. I mean, here's the thing. I watched this story twice in the last 2 days. Yesterday when I watched it, I thought, it's kind of a sort of fun romp. Yeah, there's some ethically icky stuff in it. But there's cricket. That's kind of fun. And then I watched it again today, and I'm like, God, this story is fucking pointless.
Yeah. I did something I have never done for this podcast before, which is I watched the classic story twice.
Wow.
In preparation for recording, because I was just like, okay, I'll throw my hands up. I was playing Silk Song a lot.
I knew it. Through. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it, you motherfucker.
I was still paying attention. You know, I was aware of everything that was happening. And then I know I was, because I watched it again today before we started recording, and I was like, no, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah,
it is just this dull and empty and boring.
Can I just actually confess something here as well?
Honestly, I wish I had been playing Silk Song the second time.
The first, I think, it wasn't for the whole period, but for the first, for a lot of the first time I watched this story, I was distracted as well, because I got a new action figure of a skeleton in the mail the and I spent some time playing around with it and taking photos with my phone of it. And that's what I was doing when watching this story. And I have to agree with Sam. The second time I watched it, I'm like, yep, there's nothing I really missed.
Well, here's my experience watching this story. I was by about halfway through the second episode, I was thinking to myself, okay, this has got some decent intrigue, and I think that when the sci-fi stuff comes into it and we learn what all this is about, we're gonna really have like all this payoff's gonna be nice. I'm looking forward to episodes 3 and 4, and then I went, wait a fucking minute. There is no episodes 3 and 4.
Nope.
It's got to somehow
about 10 minutes
resolve all
left.
of this. It's got to somehow resolve all of this setup in 10 minutes. And I literally remember thinking to myself, there's no other way this can be resolved other than with people just saying the answers. And lo and behold,
yeah,
people just say the answers.
So, like, as a murder mystery, right off the bat, the first murder we see is not interesting, and it's not a character that we know or care about, or will ever come to care about later. We know the killer is, like, they're largely obscured for the most part, but we know they are some kind of deranged, like, crazy person locked up in the attic. We know that from right off the get-go. And famously, Columbo is a murder mystery where who the murderer is. Well, it's not a whodunit, it's a how catch 'em. And this is not a how catch 'em.
Nope.
This is a whodunit where you know who the whole time. I mean, like, technically, knowing who that shambling fucking Quasimodo figure is a reveal, I guess. But, like, we the audience know that there's someone in the attic who's doing all the murders. All 2 of the murders of random household staff that no one gives a shit about. So there's no sense of, like, obviously killing people is bad and people would feel a sense of urgency in the setting, but, like, for us as an audience members, if it's not characters that we know, then we don't feel any sense of urgency. The only suspect that the characters ever discuss is the one guy that we, even if there was a mystery element, we're like, well, it's not going to be the fucking doctor, is it? Poirot does not show up to a house and be the only suspect in a murder investigation.
No.
And then go, actually, it was the fucking zombie you have in the attic. And then the one woman who knows about the zombie is like, you got me, Poirot. Fine, I've got a zombie in the attic.
And even when the doctor's accused, the 2 people that lead the charge on accusing him are the person who was attacked, who we know it can't be, and the person who knows crucial information that they're now hiding. So off the bat, you're like, oh, okay, they're clearly involved. There's no, like, sense of greater mystery around why this cover-up is happening. Well, except, I guess, why is a question, but not... Like, it's just not interesting, for one thing.
And like you said, it just gets explained in, like, a paragraph, like, he found the orchid, and then the natives melted his face.
What's that you said? He
found his tongue out.
That's it. He found an orchid. An orchid. That sounds like a really interesting thing to name the entire story after. Even though it's basically, like, barely relevant.
And I mean, like, it is a name that, like, you were like, ooh, one of Agatha Christie's finest. The Black Orchid.
It sounds like an Agatha Christie title,
But, like, I was expecting it to be this kind of, like, oh, the orchid is this, like, it's this space flower that was poisoning his mom or something like that. And
it's turning him into an evil lizard man or like something.
I would have been like, well, that's nonsense, but at least it's Doctor Who.
He just like fucking loves traipsing around the Amazon and he got attacked by a not so friendly tribe of natives.
Indian apparently. That's
weird.
Well, that's
they say
that's
that,
a term
but
that's used for all kinds of indigenous cultures.
Yeah.
Can we? Do we want to talk about some of the
So,
how shall I put this? Ethically suspect.
10 seconds into the video, the first episode, and we see the caretaker guy, and he's got that terrible prosthetic lip disc extension, and I just go, "Oh no!"
And by the way, I looked this up.
And then he's barely in it.
Perhaps this is not really going to be surprising. The guy who played him wasn't a native.
Of course not.
Yeah, no.
He wasn't
It was
a native Brazilian guy from the Amazon?
I could have picked up on that, because when the only time he speaks clearly in any capacity, it's with the poshest British accent I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, they
horrible ADR.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But yeah, the guy apparently was Ahmed Khalil. He was born in Karachi in what was then known as British India, what's now known as Pakistan. So that happened. And while we're at it, I don't know, maybe I'll ask you guys if you agree with this interpretation. Having the Hunchback of Notre Dame character be essentially a disabled dude who's cast as this frightening mad guy in the attic villain. Look, we've seen worse in terms of representation, I think, just generally, but man, it doesn't look good.
No, of course not.
Not to say that the guy is not disabled, because he clearly is.
Yeah, I mean, they literally say that he had his tongue cut out.
Well, yeah, but like...
And facial difference, of course.
I do think there is, like a devil's advocate, there is some difference between a portrayal of someone who was, like, attacked and disfigured versus someone who is, like born malformed like a Quasimodo type would be.
I suppose. I think for me it was more that ending...
It's still kind of fucked. And, like, they kind of hand-wave it by being like, oh yeah, the experience drove him mad, and that's more what the problem is than the fact that he's disfigured. But, like, it's still not great.
I mean, I think one of the things that struck me about it was...
I could see it being the conceit, like I say, like, this could very well have been an Agatha Christie story where it's just like, oh, the twist is... the dead husband was actually alive and he's just gone insane and he lives in the attic and he's been doing all the murders.
Well, the ending kind of reminded me of two things. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and it also reminded me of the 1931 version of Frankenstein, because that involves the creature who's mute carrying Dr. Frankenstein up a burning windmill.
Yeah.
I think that maybe it was just the iconography that made me think, oh, all right, that's what we're doing.
No, it's probably intentional. It's not done well, but it's probably intentional.
Yeah.
And then he is defeated by a hug.
Yep.
Can someone explain to me why, like, narratively speaking, they decided to Princess and the Pauper Nissa?
Okay, I'm going to answer that. No. No one's going to be able to give you an answer to that. And I think, Cuff and Sam, we can call it wraps. That's the end of our Black Orchid episode, because there's literally nothing else to talk about. Apart from the fact that Adric's character does literally nothing except stand around and eat food and get made fun of for eating food.
This is the story before he dies. And no wonder he's sulking in his room at the start of Earthshock. He kept getting fat-shamed by Miss and Tegan.
And it's so weird, because his characterization, obviously it's terrible in the story, but it's so different in Earthshock, because by this point he's already established that he's a bit of a mathematical genius. That's sort of who he is on his own planet. Holy shit, you get none of that in this story.
What would he do?
So they had to self-correct with Earthshock by making him being a big fixture of the plot and figuring out all these complicated equations. So
I just imagine that the writer was like, oh, I have this idea for for a Doctor Who story. It's like a murder mystery type thing. And then the showrunner's like, he's got 3 companions at the moment, right? And he's like, oh fuck.
Well,
Yeah, I only
know
really wrote anything for one of them, so I guess I'll just have to have the other 2 not really do anything.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. What did you write for that one companion? Oh, well, you'll never get this. The girlfriend of one of the other side characters is her exact double. Oh, that's cool. Do they do any fun, like, switching stuff with it? Oh, yeah, they switch for fun, but basically everyone knows. Oh, does it come into the story narratively in any way? Well, she gets abducted at some point. Oh, the Doctor has to save her. Well, the Doctor would save the girlfriend if she was abducted regardless. So, like, is there any reason that being Nyssa specifically is important? You know what? I guess not. I guess I just wanted.
And also,
I guess I just wanted to give Sarah Sutton more work to do. I also wanted to find. If we can find the worst possible body double for Sarah Sutton while they're both masked up, they'll be masked up. But I'd like it to be very clear in look anything alike.
I'm just imagining now, like, some cinematographer or like film editor working on the show is just like, guys, I figured out how to do 2 of the same person on screen and it look okay. We gotta make one of the companions like 2 people. And so it's just like, okay, fine, we'll fucking do it in this goddamn Black Orchid one. It's only 2 episodes. Just fucking just to get you to shut up.
And by the way, there's one moment that I noticed, particularly on a second watch, where Adric says to the Doctor, to I think Lord Cranley, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go up there and help the Doctor, and then Lord Cranley's like, no, my boy, 2 is enough, and I'm like, what? Like that's how you're going to treat this character. It's like, oh, okay, he's finally a moment where he can do something. Nope, fuck it. 2 people, more than 2 people can't go up that. Can't go up on that roof.
Granted,
how would he be able to help in this?
Yeah,
in this situation, how does maths help?
Yeah. Well, again, maybe that's just a problem with the whole episode. They never really thought how to use his character in any remotely effective way.
It does really feel like someone's like, yeah, this is going to be a murder mystery thing, and then just like keeps passing the script around and no one fucking wants it. And he's like, fucking, all right, the Doctor arrives at the train station in his TARDIS and just like hands it to the Doctor Who showrunners and they're like, it's only going to be 2 episodes? Yeah, all right, that should be easy enough. Fuck it.
Oh my god, and like, it's just nothing interesting happens. Tegan does a little dance. Can we talk about Tegan's dance?
She does
the
Charleston a little bit.
She does a little dance.
Some.
I mean, I will say this, like, the Nyssa body double stuff is pointless and irrelevant, but it's, I think, with my memory of Nyssa stories that I've seen, it's the most well-utilized she's been.
Yeah, that's fucking sad.
Yep.
I mean, I'd be interested, hopefully we'll do Keeper of Traken at some point, to see if she's utilized any better there. I'd honestly be willing to bet that she wasn't, though, which is really sad, but... God.
I've just really never given a shit about Nyssa, and when it was like, oh, Nissa's got a twin thing, I was like, ooh, maybe they're gonna do something interesting with Nyssa in this story.
Nope.
Not really. They gave lip service to doing something interesting with Nyssa, and then they didn't. Dear.
That kind of sums up the whole episode.
It kind of does.
There was the idea of something interesting, and then they didn't.
An attempt was made.
Well, it's also to the point where it's like, it's one of the laziest, like, let's inciting incident to bring the Doctor into the... It's like, oh, how can we get the Doctor involved in this story? Oh, I know. There's a different Doctor who's really good at cricket. And there's a mistaken identity.
Well,
why not just have the Doctor fucking arrive at the garden party, like in Unicorn and the Wasp? Like, you don't have to do the cricket thing at the start.
But Cuff, Peter Davison loves cricket. I know this because I saw him at the Doctor Who musical spectacular in Melbourne in 2013, and one of the first things he said was, "Oh God, don't mention the Ashes," because we thrashed the Brits that year. So
yeah, we did.
We had to put.
Yeah, we did.
We had to include the cricket stuff in the story because he's got cricket outfit and he likes cricket and he plays cricket.
This actually brings me to...
How's that, Cuff? How's that?
Well, this brings me to the element of the story that I wrote by far the most and only notes for, because I played cricket in high school. I know those of you who have... If you're one of the few listeners who listens along to the show despite having never met me, Fitz, or Sam... It will surprise you to no end to know that in our friend group, I am the jock. I played 4 sports throughout primary and high school. I was good at most 1.5 of them.
He's great. He's great at basketball.
I became a girl specifically so I wouldn't have to care about sports anymore.
Great.
But yeah, no, Cuff, he's good. He's good at basketball. I've seen him.
Really?
Well, I mean...
Okay, it was that one time when we were at, like, the... And to be fair, it was like at a, that fun, like, the fun game area in the... And I think I say good, and you were, but it's mainly just because I can't play sports for shit. So when I saw you essentially hitting nothing but net, I'm like, oh, wow, he can do these things.
When
I mean, the two of you, I think it's fair to say, fall into the orange-shaped and banana-shaped school of character design. So yeah, I think the orange-shaped one is probably not going to be as good at basketball as the banana-shaped one.
Fucking hell!
Thank you, Sam. You're lucky I'm wearing an orange.
Not fat, obviously.
No.
Thank you for clarifying that, Sam. Oh dear.
When I said I was good at
I'm the PT Flea to his that insect character from a Bug's Life. That's our dynamic.
Yeah, I'm Bert, you're Ernie. And like when I said I was good at 1.5 sports when I played sports in school, I meant that I was like the 1 is tennis and the half is I was a good cricket bowler. I sucked at batting. But like to this day, the one sport that I still follow is cricket because I don't know why, but I just do. So the cricket scene came on, and I was like, okay, this is I've heard about the Doctor being able to play cricket, and I've seen like the occasional clip. I'm just gonna sit back and watch the Doctor play cricket. And for some reason, this sequence made me the most annoyed out of the entire thing. Because, my god.
Was it accurate, Cuff?
No! No! There is a moment when there is the sound effect of the Doctor clearly hitting the cricket ball. The ball hits the bat. And yet, in the very next shot, half a second later, the umpire is signaling a wide. Mate, if it's a wide, they can't have hit the fucking ball. Get your continuity right, Doctor Who writers. There's also a moment at the start of the match when old mate says to the Doctor, oh, it's a bit of a green pitch. And then you walk out there, and not only is it the greenest pitch I've ever seen, but it's fucking muddy. You shouldn't have to say to someone, it's a bit of a green pitch, if the pitch is invisible compared to the rest of the grass. And the Doctor's form in cricket, like it's clear Pete Davison played cricket, his batting form, he's got a decent bowling arc. His slips catching is fucking abysmal. He just fucking pops his hand down there and snaps it off the air 2 inches off the ground. That is incorrect form for a slips fielder. You've got to have both hands together, fingers pointing towards the ground, body behind the ball. Otherwise, you just drop it every single time unless you're a Time Lord. And like, don't get me started on this last innings partnership between the Doctor and some nameless batter, who, by the way, should probably be a bowler, so I don't know how he managed to survive so many deliveries while the Doctor just tonks it for 4 every single time. That guy has got to be the best number 11 I've ever seen in village cricket. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I understood about a third of what you just said, but that's great. I love it. Look, we have the experts here. I deal with the medical stuff. Cuff deals with the cricket.
Movie sketch.
Yeah.
Was all on the line, but I bowled a wide. How can you live with yourself?
What's this for? Pardon?
There's a Mitchell and
Webb look sketch.
It's about
they're doing like the plucky underdog sports movie about cricket, but it's written by people who don't know anything about cricket.
Man, maybe I should write a sports story and see what a disaster that would be like.
That would be amazing.
Dear.
I'm so happy that I had an outlet for that, a socially acceptable outlet to talk to you guys, potentially for the first time ever, about cricket.
Now, I have to ask, Huff, are you glad that you watched this episode purely for that reason?
I'm not for that reason. I mean, I'm glad I watched it so we don't have to watch it again in the future.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Goodness gracious.
I will say as well, it's mildly amusing seeing Tegan, who clearly knows how cricket works, cheering on the Doctor in his good form, while Nissa and Adric are left bewildered, being like, "What is this strange Earth sport?" That's mildly.
They're banging rocks with sticks.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
I did find it amusing how just like bold-faced they all were about like being from the far future and alien.
Yeah, I know,
planets.
like just completely like no.
That was dumb and annoying. Here's the thing, I know that the Doctor does that, like the third Doctor does at the time, he doesn't give a shit. But apart from the fact that the fifth Doctor is a little bit different in personality, it's just kind of dumb and stupid even in that point in the plot. Like, I know why they're doing it, because they don't have a lot of plot to work with, because they've only got 2 episodes, but oh, that was dumb. But so is a lot of this story, so there you are.
It makes enough sense that he's like, okay, fuck it, fine. I'm a space alien from the future. I'll prove it by showing you my magic box. But just like Nissa and Adric, just from the get-go, are just like, yeah, we're aliens from fucking 6 billion years in the future. It's not a
By the
big
way,
deal.
can someone remind me, I should know this. Was there any scenes that were actually in the TARDIS? Because I don't remember them being any. Was there one at the beginning?
Yes, I think so. Yes, because they talk about Heathrow for a bit.
Yeah, they land there and they're like, Earth again? Because presumably
that's right.
they were on Earth the previous episode.
Well, they just burnt down London.
Yeah, that's right. And then later on, when he takes the police and to see the TARDIS and be like, see? Bigger on the inside.
Well,
that means I couldn't have murdered her.
Well, we don't actually go in the TARDIS that second time, which is the weird thing.
Yeah, you do.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe you were playing Silk Song instead of watching this episode.
I told you, I wasn't playing a video game, I was playing with my action figures, and if you want proof, there are photos...
with your boners.
I'm not going to finish the sentence I was about to say, though, because that's just going to make it a whole lot more awkward, so thank you, Sam. If you want context, just go into the general part of the chat.
Not you, audience. There's no general part of the chat.
No, to Cuff and Sam, the general part of the
I've
chat. I looked in.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm not going to say what it is. We're going to leave the audience suspense.
It's Fitz's boners.
Yeah, there you go.
That's clear based on the context of what we're saying.
Fuck you.
Hey,
fuck the both of you. Anyway.
You gonna call the man an orange and then do this to him? This is what Black Orchid does to a person. This is what happens.
I don't know, you say that. Trump, I don't think the Doctor's daughter does this kind of thing to a person, and yet.
Yeah, and we're recording these two in the same day. Maybe all this is still lingering from fucking all that shit. I don't know.
I don't think there's much more to say about this story.
Yeah, this is like a 4 at best, probably a 3.
Yeah.
So which one are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a 3 because we looked at the 5 Doctors and that wasn't a particularly good story as well, but I enjoyed it more than this.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 3.
I'll be generous and say 4 because at least like the aesthetic of a murder mystery is like, I have something to directly compare and contrast next week at least.
Oh, actually, that reminds me.
It's comparing and contrasting to stuff that's far better than what we're getting. I don't know.
I just remembered something. It's a small bit of trivia, but the guy who plays Lord Cranley, we've seen him before, Cuff. He's Red Fen Cooper from Ghostlight, the crazy hunter dude.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Because I'm looking and it's like, I know that face from somewhere, and yeah, it's him.
Holy shit.
What?
I should have read the fucking trivia before starting. While Sarah Sutton and Janet Fielding were delighted to take part in the dance sequences, as Sutton had previously studied ballet, Matthew Waterhouse was less enthusiastic. He suggested that Adric should be more interested in the food, so he wouldn't have to participate in the choreo.
Oh,
Hey,
dear.
look. As someone who has come up with any excuse to get out of having to do dance choreography in a show,
Ooh,
I respect it.
The scene where
dear.
George Cranley plummets off the roof went awry, with stunt performer Gareth Milne missing his cushioned target and striking the ground with his leg, the sound of which is clearly audible in the finished program.
Oh,
Fortunately,
dear.
he wasn't seriously hurt.
Wow.
Well, that's good.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
that's... Oh, also, I read on the TARDIS wiki that Peter Davison, Janet Fielding, and I think it was Sarah Sutton, or it might have been all of the main cast, who didn't like this story, and, gee, I wonder why.
Sarah Sutton has called it one of her favorites.
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
so I think
it was probably one of the most interesting and fun ones she
ever did.
Regardless of whether or not it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we're now at the end of our discussion, this puts this comfortably in the shortest review that we've done, at the very least. It's still a touch longer than the April Fool's special from last year when Jared and Hadley reviewed Scream of the Shulker.
All right.
Fantastic.
So it's good to know that this episode produced slightly more content than those made by two people, one of whom, I'm going to say, doesn't really give a shit about the format of this show, at the very least. Jared, if you actually listen to this, you can let me know if I'm wrong about that, at which point I'll apologize. Well done, Black Orchid. You potentially made me insult one of my best friends. Next time.
And you made Sam insult one of hers.
I think, yeah, I suppose so. I guess we can blame Black Orchid for that, sure. Next time, we will be reviewing The Unicorn and the Wasp, like we've been saying a couple times.
Good murder mystery episode.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I haven't seen it in ages, and I mean, you've already admitted a slight bias towards murder mysteries. I have those as well, so we'll see how it goes. But, I don't know. I don't remember this one favorably, okay, in any case. But maybe time has been kind. We'll see.
Yeah. Cool.
And on that note, I'm Alex.
I'm Fitz.
I'm Sam.
And don't watch Black Orchid. It doesn't matter that it's short. There's no reason to. It's not even one of those crazy, wild, bad episodes of the show. It's just boring.
Yeah, it's just dull.
And you can decide if this review was the same.